right. Hey, y'all. We are in Denver, Colorado. I'm Kente Scott. That's my sister.
I'm Shonda Scott.
And this is What Sibling Rivalry, the podcast. We are on the road again. In between us, we have my father, the birthday boy, Art Scott. Our father, that's right. Yeah, we do still have the same father. That's how that works. Yeah, we old school like that. Our father, Art Scott, and his sister, Nancelia Scott Jackson.
Who's the matriarch of our family.
The matriarch of our family, 95 years young.
Yes.
Pops just hit his 81st birthday. Although he's telling everybody in America, we just found out that he's 85 so that he can make those push-ups he does at the health club look even better.
He's the baby.
He's the baby. So we're going to be talking with them. We're up here at the cabin, our family's cabin.
Since 1926, our great-grandfather, William Pitts, built this cabin in Lincoln Hills, Colorado, and it's been in our family since 1926. And our Aunt Nan has been coming here since she was 2 years old.
That's
so
right.
over 90 years. So we're going to get some history and just have some funny stories.
Yeah, and this cabin is in the Smithsonian, the African American Museum. Our family's history is national history. So it's a national treasure, a national landmark. So we're just going to jump right in. Happy birthday, Pops.
Well, thank you for asking me about my birthday. I appreciate being welcome with happy birthday.
Hey, I'm going to need you to stop doing a podcast. Do a podcast and not doing an infomercial.
We got the baby boy.
Yeah.
He's the OG baby boy.
Yeah, he's the original baby boy.
Even at 80, he's still wanting to tell everybody, it's like something on my birthday.
You can stop smiling. We're not doing the commercial. You can relax. Relax your face.
And I raised him.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that part.
Yes.
Because they're 14 years apart.
Yes. We're twins now, but you know the real truth.
I know the truth.
But the question is, you're 14 years apart. How was it almost raising your little brother?
Well, it was fun because I got to raise him the way I wanted him to be.
So you're claiming this on
I'm claiming
You made
it.
this, man.
I have to claim it because my son, Gary, is, what is he, 7 years?
7 years younger.
7 years younger than Artie. And so I raised both of them together.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was dating, Artie was right there by my side. He never left my side. And he's still by my side.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that too.
Yeah, so he's like a little security guard for you when you were dating?
Yes.
He was like, you going to date, but you got to take your little brother with you.
He always came. So
that's funny. We have that same dynamic, but we're not the different age. So it's just a dynamic between little brother and big sister protectors.
A sibling.
So Daddy, how did you act on those days then as a little brother?
I always sat in the middle.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. See, that's what I learned it from.
I always sat in the middle, and then her boyfriend or whoever she was with didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, keep them apart.
Right.
Yeah. And he could never say, "Can you move your little brother out the way?"
I said, no, I don't want you kissing my sister.
That's right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, and Aunt Nan, tell us about coming up to this cabin.
Now, this cabin is very special because on Friday afternoon, my mother would say, Monroe, that's my dad, we're going to the cabin. So they would pack food and blankets and everything. And we'd get in the car and come up to the cabin, and the dog. And we'd say...
And the cats.
And no. Well, the cats, cats. And then we'd stay for the weekend. And sometimes we'd bring our cousins with us. And then, years ago, it took more than an hour to get up here. Because we were on a winding road. It was a dirt road.
Ooh.
And when we got to the hairpin curve, my mother was so nervous she couldn't ride with my dad coming down that curve. So she'd get out of the car and take the kids, and we'd walk down the curve, stay down at the bottom till Dad got down there, Dad and the dog. Then we get back in the car.
That's what Shonda almost did today.
Kente and I were channeling my Grandpa Pitts and Grandma.
Yeah.
I mean, Grandma Scott and Grandpa Scott, because I was Grandma Scott having a fit in the car on the hairpin curves. It's exactly the place where I had it.
I almost told her, you can get out and walk like Grandma did.
Yeah, and I was about to have a fit. I'm like, I'll drive next time because I know how to handle it. Yeah, because he was going, oh, that's funny.
It's nerve-wracking for some people, you know that.
Yeah, some people.
And years ago, we didn't have the rail. You've got the rail and paved roads.
Yeah.
Right.
And we didn't have to, didn't have to hunk the
I was thinking about that. I was like, these roads were dirt roads when you all came up. I figured it must have taken longer than an hour to get up here then.
Yeah.
So when you would come up back then, you didn't have, did you have electricity, like all of that? What would you do?
Tell them.
We had an outhouse.
Had an outhouse. We had lanterns. We had a coal stove.
Oh.
No microwave, nothing like
So
that.
you have to cut down logs and stuff to make the fire?
Yeah.
But it was still a resort
Yeah.
for, it was
It's
a
still a
segregated
getaway.
area in Lincoln Hills that this homes are all built, right? The grandpa
Right.
built.
Grandpa wanted it to be the country club for black people. That was his wish. And that's why he built more than one cabin.
Mm.
I think he built, how many, Artie?
3.
3 cabins plus ours. And then, of course, we didn't have running water. We went to the creek.
You got the water from the creek?
No,
But
we
the
got
creek
water.
is a Colorado River.
Yeah.
Yes, we got the water from the creek. It was free.
Did you fish in the river too? And that's how you
fished in there. We went down there and played in the water, got on the rocks and stood in the water. But we were free when we came up here. Mom just turned us loose,
Oh, yeah.
especially the boys. The boys would get on that freight train and they'd take off and go to Pine Cliff, or they'd walk to Pine Cliff and get on the freight train and
What
come
freight
back.
train?
There was a
The one
train.
They would just jump on the train like the hobos?
And that was hey.
Okay.
That was a free life
That's
there.
different.
We walked up to the top of the hill last time we were here, all the way up to the mountain.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Daddy said
To
he's
the
the
peak.
oldest. He's the oldest Scot that's touched the top of that
Yes,
mountain because
that's
he went up
correct.
last year for his 80th birthday.
That's correct. That's
Mhm.
correct.
Now, Pops, tell us some of your memories of coming up to the cabin.
Well, when I came up to the cabin, I couldn't go anywhere until my brother Warren woke up from his nap. My dad wouldn't let us go by ourselves, so we had to go ourselves. Warren's 6 years older than I was.
Mhm.
So when I was like 4 or 5 and Warren was like 8 and 9, we'd go up in the woods and I'd follow them over the mountain to Pine Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother PM and Warren would jump on the train coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was too small to kind of catch the train, so I had to walk back on the
They
railroad
leave?
track. Oh yeah, they got the.
So wait a minute, it was 6 of you all, 6 people, and your mom and dad were in the car, and the dogs and the cats. That came
Sure,
up?
sure.
Oh,
We
okay.
were loaded down.
Oh, we were loaded down.
We had big cars
They
then.
didn't have SUVs in
No.
them.
No, we had
Find
big
a
cars.
What year was this time?
We had a 1940 Dodge that we used to drive up,
Ooh.
and we kept the 40 Dodge until 1950 because during the war they weren't making any cars; they were only making military vehicles.
Oh.
Wow. So how did the cabin remain in the family all these years?
Well, my mother bought the cabin from her daddy, Grandpa Pitts, when Grandpa Pitts was going back to Missouri.
Mm.
And so my mother bought the property from him, and so she maintained the taxes on that property all through the years. And then when she passed away, she deeded the property over to my older brother, John Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And John Scott owned the property until he passed away, and then he deeded it over to his daughter, Reggie
Mm-hmm.
Belton, and my nephew, Gary Jackson.
Who's on Nan's son?
Yeah.
And and he's the judge too, so that made it better.
So and it's the two oldest grandchildren had deeded it to them. So
Right.
It's been deeded through generations. That's how you've been able
That's
to
how
do
you
it.
keep
Right.
it in
And,
the
and that's part of the requirements is that the property can only be sold to a Scott Pitt
Descended.
descendant.
I like that.
Wow, that's great.
And I like that the benches, like got the Uncle Johnny bench and Nan bench and
Uncle
Pop's got a
Warren
bench,
bench.
Uncle Warren got a bench,
Yeah.
all the
Arts View, Daddy
Arts
has
View,
a bench.
Daddy has a bench.
Uh-huh.
How did that come about? Whose idea was that?
That was Uncle Johnny's idea.
Oh, okay.
And when he was a school teacher, he used to have those benches built in the wood
by
shop.
the kids.
Wood shop
Oh, okay.
in his high school, and then he would bring them up to the cabin.
Oh,
And
that's
he named each area. Nan's view is higher up.
Of
My
course.
view is in front of trees. Warren's view is ongoing,
Uh-huh.
and then Billy's view was kind of around by the pine trees up above.
Oh, okay.
And then Johnny made all that happen, you know.
Right.
And then he made benches for his daughter Jill.
Mhm.
Jill has a bench too.
So what's your fondest memory? Not necessarily child, just fondest memory at the cabin.
Oh, I think one of my fondest memories was after I was married and had children, and all my club members would come up here,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd bring their kids, and we'd come up here for the day. We'd play volleyball out there, or
Oh.
we'd hike. We hiked up to one cabin where years ago this man he was growing marijuana in his cabin.
Yeah.
And we went in his cabin and saw the marijuana he was growing, and he gave us a cigarette, a marijuana cigarette. So there were about 10 of us. We took a puff to see what marijuana was like.
Right.
Now they're just completely
Exactly.
legal in Colorado.
He was a trailblazer.
That was years ago when I was a young girl, and we were all married and had our own family. And we did a lot of hiking, and all my club members, they still remember, those that are still alive, still remember coming up to Lincoln Hill.
Right.
So that was one of my fondest memories.
What's yours, Daddy?
My fondest memories when my brother and my cousin and my future brother-in-law all came home after World War II in 1946. Johnny was in the Coast Guard. He fought in the Pacific, and he came home. I was happy that he came back. And I had my cousin, Paul Harris Robnett, who was a Tuskegee Airman bomber pilot. And then Floyd, who married my sister Nancy, I used to sit between. He was a war hero. He got 3 gold stars from the European theater, and he took Patton. He went with Patton all the way from France to Nile into Germany.
Okay,
and
so
he won 3 gold stars.
You guys had the reunion for them up here?
We all came home. Yeah, well, it was like everybody came up here.
Oh, okay.
To have everybody celebrate and come home.
Coming home from the war.
Oh, it was right after war. The war was over. Everybody was celebrating.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And my dad was so happy. My mom was so happy that everybody came home safe
They
and sound.
came home alive.
Right.
All
So
came
there's
home.
like 6 generations that come to the cabin now.
6
Right.
generations.
Right,
uh-huh.
right. So my fondest memory is not actually my own memory, but I just thought it was so cute that Mommy and Daddy had their wedding honeymoon at the cabin.
Yeah.
They had their honeymoon at the cabin
At the
here. That was so
cabin.
cute. I think that's such a cute story.
Yeah.
So and then since then we come every year, and then my son Austin and your daughter Tyler comes up with Daddy all the time. So in fact, you and Austin ride the train still, Zephyr View.
Yeah.
Why the cabin's name is Zephyr View, because you can see the train. There's a California Zephyr. You ride from California to Denver.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have Austin, because Kenta and I did that one time. We'll probably get into that at some point.
Austin,
we'll talk about
That story
We
is
love
still
it.
in our mind.
Austin's been doing it since he's 18 months
Right?
old.
Yeah.
Right.
He's been
And now he's
indoctrinated
22?
in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
uh-huh.
So what's your favorite? What was your fondest
My
cabin?
My fondest cabin memory probably is just the outhouse. The scariness of going out to the outhouse
At night.
At night, and Pops would give you a flashlight, and Pops was one of them. Pops would be like, "You better go out there."
You scared you going out?
Yeah,
That
and I
meant
was
you
like,
wasn't a man.
and I thought about it, I'm like, why do I have to go in the outhouse? We surrounded by the woods. I could have just went to a bush and leave.
Right.
But it was
Right,
like go to
that
the
would be so
outhouse with the
structured.
yeah. But that was one of the funniest memories of mine. But I want to ask you on that, because they say you're 95. You've seen your neighborhood change. Like, and I remember you had. When I was little, you had the preschool right next to your house,
Right.
and now you have a state-of-the-art townhome that you live in.
know it.
How has that? What has it looked like living through that change?
95 years.
95 years. You know, it's been exciting for me. I've enjoyed every change that we've gone through. And now we're in this, I guess this will probably be our last change, where the houses that are going up now are going for $3 million.
Wow.
And we pay $18,500 for our.
Wow.
For your duplex, right? It was a duplex at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We had a duplex, and we paid when my husband and I first we bought the lots, which were $600 for taxes.
Uh-huh.
Mom said, "Why don't you buy all 4 of them?" We said, "We just need 2." And we bought the 2 lots and built our duplex,
Mm-hmm.
and we lived there until we tore it down and built they call it mansion. We built a mansion.
Right. Now, let me ask you, because usually when they come into neighborhoods like that, they try to buy everybody out.
Right.
Did they come to you and be like, "We want to
They
buy your
did.
property"?
The man on the corner, he had bought the nursery, so he had that whole corner lot, and he wanted our lots. And he said, "I'll let you live there as long as you want to, but I want to buy it." I said, "I'm going to live here as long as I want to, and I'm going to own it." So I
That's
never
right.
did sell.
Yeah.
I did not sell,
Wow.
and I
In
don't want,
95 years.
I do not want my kids to sell,
Yeah.
because that zip code 80206 is the zip code you want.
Yeah, that's the best. That's like the 90210 of Denver.
Right.
Right.